Adult dancers of Reddit, what are some things about the business do most customers not know? Not a stripper, but a former bouncer, and the girls each kept their own container of disinfectant wipes in the DJ booth, with their names written on in black magic marker. I'm a bouncer at a regular nightclub. I keep disinfectant wipes near the door. After checking 500 plus IDs and shaking hands, I wipe down my area and disinfect up to my elbows. Why do you shake their hands? There are a lot of regulars. I know them from always being in the club, from other jobs over the years, or from around town in general. I keep up appearances so that when something goes awry in the club, more people are keen to let me know what's going on so I can do my job more efficiently and get the club back to normal. I manage a busy, multiple floor bar with tons of regulars, and this is exactly how I do it. There will always be issues that arise at a bar, but engaging with the usuals is the easiest, most efficient way to keep things even keel. Basically, you're giving them agency and delegating some authority in addition to gaining multiple sets of eyes and ears that will report if something merits it. In a way, they're paying you to work for them. Of course, they're also out with their friends having a good time and getting laid, so everybody wins. It's also the best method of removing someone from the premises with little to no drama. Rule number 1 in this business: don't cause a scene. Find the most sober and or responsible member of their party and enlist their help. And since you're always engaging customers, you probably have some rapport with someone in the group. Drunks respond much better to people they know. I could write a book on this. I know the gay strip club here in Dallas. Many of the dancers are actually straight college-age kids. Friends with one and his girlfriend. I asked him if it was weird, but when he says there's that much money involved. Totally. My main stage for women is in Seattle, and while it's fun, it doesn't make bank like gay clubs, so the 2-hour commute to Portland every now and then is worth it. A study was done that showed that men are aware when women are ovulating and are more attracted to them. The study tracked strippers' tips and found that ovulating strippers made the most, non-ovulating strippers made decent money, and strippers on their period made the least. Randy strippers get paid more, bleeding ones less. Got it? That we pay to work in the clubs. There aren't always A casts and B casts. Saturdays doesn't always mean the hotter girls. Mondays doesn't always mean the uglier girls. Girls make their own schedules. I worked Friday and Saturday night. But I'm working now, Monday, because I have to work one Monday a month. Hotter girls don't always make more money. They get approached more often. But the real money makers are the ones that are good at conversation and persuasion. There's sex at every club, just not with every girl. Beers cost $7 because you're paying for the environment, not the alcohol. There are single moms, students, drug addicts, free spirits, models at every club. Different percentages though for different clubs. The clubs make the dancers pay rent, plus a percentage they make from each dance in the VIP room. Then they are pressured to tip security and even the DJ for playing songs. Basically tip everyone that already makes a set wage for doing what they were hired to do. Source: wife was a dancer. That's right. My fees: minus $15 to the house. Actually cheap. Minus $5 from each couch dance. Minus $75 from each champagne court. Minus $10 dressing room attendant. Minus $12 DJ. I do 24 weekend nights. Some girls tips security, but I usually don't because some guys are so lazy. For example, Tony is a nice bouncer. When the customer uses a credit card for the champagne court, the slip prints out with slots for tips security and one for the dancer. When the slip prints out, Tony always says, "How are you today? If you would like to, you can leave a tip for lovely lady Miss Luna." The customer usually writes in something, so I prompt him to leave something for security. When Kyle prints out the receipt, he just says "here you go" and is rude. It's then up to me to explain the credit card slip, which it's annoying, and I don't do any song and dance for Kyle. I heard on the radio recently They were talking about a lawsuit involving strippers, that the clubs generally take 50% or more of the tips they receive. Apparently the whole system is shady. All strippers are considered independent contractors for insurance reasons or something, which means the clubs legally can't impose a work schedule or dress code. But obviously they do. I don't know the particulars, but it seemed like a lot of loopholes are involved to screw the ladies. It's so that the women have to pay to dance there. Ran security at a spot for over a year. That's exactly how it works. Also, at least at the club I worked, dancers tipped security and management, not to mention they usually opened a tab at the beginning of their shift because most of them have to be drunk or on drugs to get through the night. Even as security we would start our jobs in debt to the club because they would provide us with our own radio earpiece and we had to pay for it. I'm a DJ at a strip club. Our club doesn't take a percentage of what the dancers make. They have to pay stage rental. They are asked to tip the DJ and the VIP guy a minimum of $10 at night, $5 during the day. We cannot force them to, but they know that if they don't, someone else will. We would tell them their services are no longer needed, or we didn't want to rent them the stage anymore. The wording I hear at times is sketch as fuck. Most clubs, any decent one, really, doesn't blatantly take tips, but remember that the club never actually pays the girls. Their tips are their entire income. Strippers pay the club to dance every night that they do, and they are also, socially, obligated to tip the DJ that plays their music for their dance. So while a nice club won't request any of the tips the girls got, they do take a chunk out of total income to dance there. Generally the nicer the club, the higher the fee, because they're trying to attract the better off girls that are all like T-images be a stripper fuke school. You start low, then you go high. If the club is taking tips they should get sued. That's not allowed. I'm not a stripper, but one of my best friends is. In Ontario, Canada, for most clubs you require a license to strip, very much like a driver's license, but to take your clothes off. Edit. A lot of you had questions, so I had my girlfriend answer them. You have to go to the police station to get your license. She can't remember which department since she got hers a couple of years ago and then stopped stripping. Yes, it does have a picture of her mug on it. It's for identifying her should she be kidnapped or murdered. The girls are supposed to wear them at all times, but they normally don't. It cost her $400 or like 30 minutes of work. I'm from Portland. We have lots and lots of clubs in this town, so there wasn't much I wasn't used to about strip joints. But then I was taken to a club in the Toronto area called Caddy's, which had a large pink Cadillac over the entrance. The constant ping, clang of loony coins hitting the stage struck me as odd. I mean, it seemed degrading, like people were flinging quarters at a stripper. Then I remembered most of those coins were worth $2, but still, coins and strippers don't go together. Male stripping isn't much different from female stripping minus a bleeding penis every 4 weeks. We still have to pay our club fees. There's still massive amounts of other male strippers with a drug problem, mostly cocaine. The ratio of male-female clientele is about 50-50. This is all depending on the club you go to, work at. There's a lot more sex in male strip clubs, or at least propositions. Hell, even as a bartender I've been propositioned before. Had a regular offer me $500 to come over to his house, have him make me dinner, get a massage, and then for him to give me a blowjob. Contemplated that for a bit. Also, male dancers almost always have a cock ring on. If you've ever tried to keep an erection while dancing and grinding on a pole or talking shit's annoying. Every now and then we have to go take it off and take a break for a few minutes. Otherwise you'll be in a lot of pain at the end of your shift. Still a good gig. I worked out of Atlanta for a while. Made some pretty solid bank there in the summer months. Male dancer here for a prominent gay nightclub. 1. As a male dancer we get paid booking fees. I usually accept no less than $100, and that usually includes a free hotel if I'm traveling. 2. Being good looking is a major factor, but understanding that every body type markets to a different crowd. I market to the people who like twinks, for instance. 3. It's really up to us how much money we want to make for the night. It's how far we're willing to take things. 4. We know where the high rollers are. We are constantly paying attention to who's buying their friends a ton of drinks, or what have you, so we know who to approach. 5. Bachelorette parties are a male stripper's best friend. They almost always pay for private dances. 6. A lot of us, even at gay nightclubs, who dance for money, are not gay. I happen to be, but many of my coworkers aren't. 7. Dancing isn't just for broke people. I've danced with very well-off porn stars, models, and even one that appears on daytime television across the US often.